usually happiness in some form or another. Regardless, they want it right now. The irony of patience is that only by learning to wait, and by a willingness to accept the good with the bad, do we attain those things which are truly worthwhile. He that can have patience can have what he will, Benjamin Franklin told us, in his French tale entitled Mad with Thread, bears matter.
Once there was a widow who had a son called Peter. He was a strong, able boy, but he did not enjoy going to school, and he was forever daydreaming.
Peter, what are you daydreaming about this time?
I'm thinking about what I want to be when I grow up.
Be patient. There's plenty of time for that. Being grown up isn't all fun, you know.
When I grow up, I'm gonna marry Lisa.
Often he wandered through the forest, dreaming of the future. Sometimes he lay down on the soft forest floor in the warm sun, his hands behind his head, staring up at the sky through the distant treetops. One hot afternoon, as he began to grow sleepy, he heard someone calling his name.
Peter! Peter!
Look what I have here.
What is it?
It's your life thread. Don't touch it and time will pass normally. But if you give it a bit of a tug, a minute, an hour will pass like a second. But I do warn you, once you pull it out, you cannot put it back in. If you do choose to accept my gift, you can tell no one about it, or that day you shall die. Do you want it?
Peter examined the ball. It was light and solid, made out of one single piece. The only flaw in it was the tiny hole from which the bright thread hung. It seemed to be creeping very slowly out of the ball, so slowly that it was scarcely noticeable to the naked eye. He longed to give it a quick tug, but dared not do so. Not yet.
Peter, I need you to concentrate on your work. All right, everyone, class dismissed.
It occurred to Peter that perhaps it was stupid to just pull the thread a little each day to make life easier. If he gave it a harder tug, school will be over altogether, and then he could start learning his trade and marry Lisa.
You've worked for me very well. I think it's time for you to have your own work by now. Here's the plan.
Oh, I love my job, and payday's Friday. But it's only Monday.
Living at my grandparents' house taught me so much this year. Another year, I cannot wait to be a good wife and housekeeper for us and our kids.
But a whole year?
Oh, Peter, I'm ready to marry you. Let's pick a date very soon.
You're required to report to military barracks immediately to begin your 2 years of military service.
Once Peter had settled into life at the barracks, he began to feel it wasn't so bad after all. He quite enjoyed being in the company of the other young men, and his duties were not very arduous. At First, he remembered the old woman's warning to use the thread wisely, and for a while he refrained from pulling it. But in time, he grew restless again. Army life bored him with its routine duties and harsh discipline. He pulled the thread again, and 2 years passed almost as if it had been a dream. Back home, Peter determined not to pull the thread again until absolutely necessary. After all, this was the best time of his life, as everyone told him. He did not want it to be over too quickly. He did, however, give it just a tug or two to speed up the approach of his wedding day.
On the day of his wedding, everyone, including Peter, was happy. He could hardly wait to show Lisa the house he had built for her. At the wedding feast, he glanced over at his mother and noticed for the first time how she was aging. Peter felt a pang of guilt that he had pulled the thread so often. Henceforward, he would be much more sparing with it, and only use it when it was strictly necessary. A few months later, Lisa announced,
Peter, we're going to have a child.
Oh! I can hardly wait!
Times became hard. Business was bad, and a government had come to power that squeezed the people dry with taxes and would tolerate no opposition. Anyone who became known as a troublemaker was thrown into prison without trial, and rumor was enough to condemn a man. Always having been a man to speak his mind, Peter was soon arrested and thrown into jail. Luckily, he had his magic ball with him. He tugged very hard at the thread, and the prison walls dissolved before him. The war that had begun while he was incarcerated ended as quickly as a summer storm, leaving behind an exhausted peace, and Peter found himself back home.
Hi, Father. Hi, Mother. Hello, Father. Hi, Father. Hi, Mother.
Hello, family. Hello, what's this? Oh, no, no. Mother.
Peter stood back and considered his present life and worries. He thought how much easier and less taxing it would be if all his children were grown up and launched upon their own careers in life. So he gave the thread a mighty tug. He found that all his children had left for home, for jobs in different parts of the country, and that he and his wife were all alone. But Lisa was getting older and was often ill. On the days he couldn't bear to see her suffer, he resorted to pulling the thread. But as soon as she felt better, again she was sick, and he began pulling it more and more often. Finally, he decided to go for a walk in the forest to think things over.
So, Peter, have you had good life?
I'm not sure. Your magic ball is a wonderful thing.
I've never had to suffer or wait for anything in my life, yet it has all gone by so quickly. I feel like I have had no time to take in what has happened to me, neither the good things or the bad. And now I don't dare to pull it, for it will only bring me to my own death. I don't think that your gift has brought me fortune.
How ungrateful you are! How would you have expected it any different?
Well, maybe if you had given me a ball which I could have pushed the thread back in as well as taken it out, then I could have relived the things that went badly.
Ha! Do you think God allows us to live our lives twice over? I will give you one last wish, you demanding man.
What is it?
Choose.
I should like to relive my life again, as if for the first time, but without your magic ball. Then I can relive both the good and the bad things without cutting them short, and my life won't pass as swiftly or meaninglessly as a daydream.
Give me my ball.
Mother!
You're going to be late for school.
Mother, I've had a terrible dream. I dreamed that I was old and sick and that my life had passed by in the blink of an eye with nothing to show for it. Not even memories.
Don't be silly. That will never happen. Memories are the one thing we all have, even when we are old. Now you better hurry. Lisa is waiting for you, and he will make you both late for school.
As Peter walked to school with Lisa, he noticed what a bright summer morning it was. The kind of morning when it felt good to be alive. Soon he would see his friends and classmates, and even the prospect of lessons didn't seem so bad. In fact, he could hardly wait.